And this one's going back to the old school, man. The Miami Hurricanes are taking on Notre Dame, man. Like I alluded to earlier, the classic convicts versus the Catholics. G-Mike, this is your home stomping ground, man. It's going to be a home game for Miami. What's your thoughts, man? New era for Miami. Carson Beck's coming into town. Was it worth all that money?
I think so, man. I think so. You know, he came from the SEC. You know, you play big time schools there. If you want to be an actual NFL player, that's a conference that you want to go through from college to get up to the pros. That's where you want to train. That's where you want to play in. You know, it's like the next. It's almost the closest level to the NFL than any other conference. So I think, you know, we'll be good with him. He's a good pocket passer. He's intelligent. He knows how to read the secondary, the linebackers. He gets not great when he comes under pressure and stuff like that, but I feel like he'll create that poise in the ACC. It'll be different for him, a different type of play. I think our offense is going to be good. I don't think it's going to be electric like last year because Cam Ward is a different story, and they're going to compare him to Cam Ward all season long for sure. The main thing that I want to see improvement on is the defense, right? Because with Miami, it's always, okay, we have good defense and we have good skilled players and we don't have a quarterback. Now it's turned into we have a quarterback, we have skilled players, but we don't have a defense. So that's what it was last season, and it's like we want to see some improvement on that. Notre Dame, their offense is not crazy good, but it's good enough to get a win. Their defense is freaking spectacular, and I feel like last season, that's why they got to the national championship game. Last season is just going to roll on for them, so you know, they're going to get some turnovers on us. I feel that it's going to happen. Carson Beck will probably throw an interception for sure. They'll probably have a forced fumble for sure. So we got to see how our defense is going to play with their offense. And if I'm going to make a prediction, I'm going to go with the hometown. This is another game that I think is going to end by a field goal. You know, you all the way, baby.
And Mr. BC, what do you think about that one, man?
I'm not going to spoil it much. I'm going to stick with G-Mike on this one too. I think that the difference is going to come down to you've got a freshman quarterback making the start for Notre Dame versus Carson Beck. Yeah, it's a new team and everything like that, but he's a senior. He's seasoned. He's been in for the longest time what's considered the toughest conference in college football. So I think that this is just going to be one of those things. It's going to be a learning curve for Notre Dame for sure. It's going to be a learning curve for CJ Carr. I think that, you know, again, he'll have, I think both QBs will have relatively good games. I think Carr, just because he's going up against a weaker defense on paper in Miami. And then obviously Beck, I think just because of the experience he has, especially against elite competition. So I feel like it will be a closer one, I think, than Texas and Ohio State. I will agree. I think this one does come down to a field goal, like G-Mike said. But yeah, I think that this is where you're going to see the difference between experience versus potential.
Man, we are disagreeing like crazy today, man. I'm going Notre Dame, and I think Notre Dame's going to win big, to be honest with you. I believe in Notre Dame. I think they're going to do a really good job. And I think what it comes down to as well is X's and O's, man. I trust Marcus Freeman, the head coach. I think he's poised for these kind of situations. I haven't trusted Cristobal at all. He's a great recruiter, but I haven't really seen much of what they've done. They've seemed like they've come up short in some of these games whenever they know they needed to. Ergo, the Syracuse game. Miami looks like they're going to be okay. I think it's going to be bad for Miami fans to try and compare Carson Beck to Cam Ward. I think you're right on that. They're different players. They're not the same players. And I hope for Miami's sake, they don't put Carson Beck in the same situations they put Cam Ward in. The reason Cam Ward had so many highlight reel plays was because the defense put him in those situations, and he had to do everything and everything to come back and win those games. There's a few of those games that Miami should have never won, but Cam Ward had that dog in him and had the will to win, and he pulled him through. I don't believe Carson Beck's that guy, though. I think that they're going to have to play a little bit different offense than they've played in the past. It just depends on which Carson Beck's going to show up. You know, you go back 2 years ago, Carson Beck was the real deal. You go back even as far as like a year ago or so, granted, there's a little bit of injury involved, not the same guy. So I'm interested to see how he's going to look. It is a new offense, new conference. Like you were saying, ACC has a couple good teams. I think Georgia Tech's really good this year. Clemson is going to be great this year. They're also playing on Saturday, have a huge game. which I think is going to be one of the best games of the day as well. But having said that, man, yeah, I'm going to take Notre Dame, and I think Notre Dame's going to win big in this one, to be honest with you, man. I don't believe in Miami in this game. Now, in a couple weeks, whenever we play each other, G-Mike, we can go back to it. We'll have to make another bet. I did have to sing the fight song. If you guys want to see that, I sung it live that was probably episode 5 or so, something like that. So you got to go back a few ways. But I'm a man of my word, and we'll definitely be making some bets as this goes on again. So as a recap, I'm taking Notre Dame. BC, who are you taking?
I am going to be taking University of Miami.
Do I even have to ask?
No.
All right.